Alright, what I'm doing today is basically, well, you can tell by looking at it, it's a turtle! Um, and I've already decorated the turtle with one of these, which is a chrome marker. This one's from Let's Resin. Bring it up a little, that way you can see it. But this is the copper color that I went ahead and I put all around here on this little turtle. And hopefully this is an experiment to see if it's going to turn out okay. And I am noticing little things right here that need to be touched up as I'm telling you this. Okay. Because if I don't touch it up like that and we pour the resin on, it may not look as good as it could. So I really do want to make sure that any holes are like dotted and closed up. I got a little bit near the tail. Now what happens after I pour in the other resin and everything is all nice and cured and we're at the end and I still see holes and stuff in there? Luckily this chromium pen can also be used when resin is dry. So the only thing that I anticipate going into this and pouring the resin into it is that the chromium marker might bleed a little bit into the rest of the resin. So what I do with this is I go ahead and I usually will put in a powder or brush on a powder with just regular brushes. Excuse me. And I basically get everything, you know, dotted on there, and a little bit can go a long way with mica powder. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to start with this color of mica powder, which is a darker brown. We're going to fill in some of the little holes here that are on the flippers. So we do want to be careful as well. I say we as if I have a group in here. What I will do is go ahead and color in. Now you'll notice it as I do it here, but you got to be careful how you color in things because the mica powder can go everywhere. And this is a nice mica powder. It came from Let's Resin, and it's a nice vibrant color. It is not one of the what they call chameleon powders. It's not one of those. It's just a regular mica powder. I think this one is called bronze. But I'm going to get all the mica powder on there, and you know, and just get things going. Now with the I don't have to be real super careful on it here, mostly because I do want it to also cover the other stuff that I put on. There we go. Okay, there's one flipper down. Now before I went ahead and started to do this little project here, I decided I would just test out, you know, whether or not I could, you know, put in the mica powder, have it look nice and vibrant and everything, really pretty, and do it without having to do a ton of cleanup because mica powders go everywhere. But the nice thing with this, though, is that in putting the chromium pen on there first, I don't have to worry about, you know, marring that or smudging that really so much as I'm doing this with the mica powders. And my intention is to color in every part here, but there'll be specific colors. Like, for instance, I'm going to be using a little bit of purple, or blue violet is what this one is, and peach. So I've done other turtles and such, you know, in blue and teal, Two different shades of green in there and a little bit of brown, or like a rose colored brown almost. And I've done those kinds of things. So this one is a little bit of a departure from those two. And this will be a lot shinier. Quite a bit shinier. So, and that's mostly because of the chromium pen. So as you can see, I'm just putting everything on here, simple. I'm not worrying about smudging anything up. And they may look like the two colors are matching, but they are slightly different colors from each other here. Now that I've got, like I said, everything else is painted on there with the chromium pen, I normally can just slather on, but when I'm trying to be more detailed, like I'm going to need to be here on this top part, because we have little flamies down here, I just need to kind of brush that pink across on the top like this. It's not going to make a difference if I get it up into the gold or anything like that. And I'm going to come around like this because there's more than one place that's going to need it. So go around here, and I may have to go in with get a little bit of taking some of the powder off of there, and I will do that usually with like a Q-tip or something. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of dotting this on here to try and get it into those crevice areas that are on the mold. Oops, I forgot an area. Good thing I have a lot of mica powder. All right, get that over there. All right, and I kind of like to grind it in a little bit to the mold so it actually gets evenly onto the mold. I don't know if everybody does it that way. That's just how I do it. And I am by no means a professional. I'm mostly learning on this, so things aren't going to be perfect, you know, and if anybody else does resin work, by all means, I am open to suggestions and advice. So, anyway, so you kind of see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm probably going to have to fortify that a little later as well. So this can get kind of tedious, and what I'll probably do is speed this up for you as I get the rest of this in. Okay, now you see the purple in there. Now that initial color is the one that's going to end up coming out when we're all said and done. So hopefully it comes out a lot more vibrant. I hope it does anyway. If it doesn't, well, lesson learned. But, so what I will do now is I'm going to go ahead and do a slightly different color in here, and I am going to pick one of the chameleon powders, and I'm going to pick the one, let me just take a quick look here, called Galaxy. I'm going to bring this up here so you can see it. It's kind of interesting. The color looks kind of red through the jar, but when you look into it, it's got all sorts of, you know, blue sparklies and stuff in it. So it is actually pretty interesting. Okay, so now go ahead and put that in here. Mixy, kind of the way that we did with the others. Just kind of grind it in. And like I said, it's not going to hurt the area with the chromium pen at all. So, or the other colors that are on here. because it will only see the initial color that's been put down on the mold. So here's that. I might do another little bit more. Okay. Alrighty. So this ought to be really interesting to see how this comes out. So the next step, after I blew all the stuff off of there, I'll put that down. Alright. Let me see if I can lift it up a little so you might be able to see it better. Oop. Oops, not that far up. The other way. Goodness. I don't know my left from my right today. But anyway, do you see the colors on that? It's a little hard because the ring light doesn't always make it that easy, but you know, it is kind of, yeah, it's kind of a light color. So the next step on this is to mix a little bit of resin and pour it in. Now, this turtle, normally what I do is I pour in black, because black will make colors pop. And I really want this to pop quite a bit. So I think what I will do is go ahead and do either black or a very, very dark brown in here. And we'll see what goes. So let me go ahead and mix up some resin. I'll come back to you when I get that done. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and get ready to pour. Because I did go ahead and just made sure that things were filled in properly and all that stuff. So now, while there does seem to be quite a bit of resin, I am most likely going to end up having to use this for like a pair of earrings or maybe a few pairs of earrings. But here we go though. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. I'm going to be a little bit more careful as I get up to the top because you don't want to have it overflow, especially not the feet. You want things to fill in evenly, as you can kind of see things doing. I'm going to stop and let things kind of fill in. So we will let it do that. I can also give it a quick torch as well. Oops, if the torch wants to work. It doesn't want to work. Okay, fine. That's what this is for. And if you use the alcohol and the torch, give it a while for the alcohol to dissipate before you use the torch. Otherwise, you're going to catch your piece on fire. So, all right, as you can see, it is spreading out, and resin does do that. It likes to spread. So let me go ahead and help it along a little. Just get it into the places it needs to be in. All right. And yeah, I got more resin, so yeah. I'll just pour some more in. Put one more in there. Help fill up the tail. And maybe a tiny bit more in here. Come on. Okay. Alrighty. It's working on it and getting into the areas it needs to get into. And I try not to get an overpour, but every once in a while that does happen. You know, because the resin is supposed to spread, and you know it's supposed to go where you need it to go, but doesn't always do that. So, okay, could use just a tiny bit more right over here. Just a smidge. Yep. Like that. Okay. So, the way that I have this here, you know, it's going to need to sit here for about 8 hours. And by 8 hours, then it should be where I can unmold it for you. And then you can see how it came out. Which we'll go ahead and do, but I'll go ahead and give it a quick torch here. That stubborn torch. Okay. It's a little bitter, but of course I'll keep an eye on it here. And well, we can't do anything else until the morning. So I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Well, it's a little tiny bit bendy from what I can feel, but it is cured. So now we got to take it out of the mold. This one, I don't know how it's going to come out, mostly because I used the pen on there instead of just mica powders. But let me show you, before I decant that one, the other two that I was able to experiment with. Let me move you over here for a little bit. The very first one that I did came out like this. So you can tell it's a little bit more of a pinky color here and on the head and everything. But let me see if I can get him a little closer, you can see. I did not apply the chrome pen until afterwards, and I only did it on the shell, which just accents the shell a little bit more. So we have that one. And then I did one that's a little more vibrant, a little more muted on the flippers, but that one is blue and green. You see his colors. And again, I did the chrome paint around just on the shell. But with this one, the difference was I tried to use 2 different colors of mica powders on the flippers, and it didn't come out too bad. So, anywho, so there's the little blue, the blue guy. Let me go ahead and grab ours here. You ready, guys? We're going to find out what this one looks like. It may be a catastrophe or it may be a triumph. I don't know, but we're going to find out. So let me just kind of get it try and get it out of the mold, basically. That's half the battle, usually, is getting them out of the molds. But I just need to loosen it around the edge. Don't look too bad so far from what I can see just on the sides. Ooh. And there's always these little parts that want to get stuck. Alright, come on. Get out of there. This is also the one that I used a little bit of acrylic paint for his eyes. Okay, I think we're loosened sufficiently now. Okay, let me get in here. Oh, come on out. Come on out. Don't fracture. Come on. Ah, there we go. I may have some things to nip off of the mold, off of this, but okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Huh. Huh. That's not bad. Not bad. But it's not as clean as I would like it to be. So I get to keep experimenting with this, but in the meantime, all my experiments end up going to people I love. or folks that I know would enjoy them. I like to do this for people. I like to give folks stuff that I make because it's a way of blessing them. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that that peach ended up coming out more of a lavender, which is interesting. Real interesting. And then, of course, the violet purple came out just fine. But this section in here was the chameleon powder, and I don't know. This was Galaxy, and it actually has many different colors in there, so it's actually not bad. Anyway, so turtles. Lots of turtles that I'm making, mostly to learn technique. So I'm not selling my stuff yet. Well, I do sell some of the jewelry. And speaking of jewelry and turtles, I have been making turtle necklaces and such. Here, this one's on a big gold chain. But anyway, so this is one of the turtle necklaces that I made. If I can get it to where you can see it on camera. It doesn't want to focus, and I can't seem to find the camera this morning. But anyway, get down there. A little further down. Come on, don't be stupid. After all, it still is morning, and I have only had 4 hours of sleep, so. But you can kind of see it. Alright, that one, and then the others that I made recently were made with some mother of pearl chips. And they came out almost kind of 3D when I did them. There's one of them right there. Now, I'm not sure how well you can see all of that. I need to get a better camera for this, but it's going to be a while. So we're going to have to put up with me doing it the way I'm doing it now. But I also don't have my Adobe products anymore, so I'm using open source products, which are a learning curve, I will say, but they still work. But anyway. So, that, and the second one is like that too. But, so this is the stuff I've made. I'm going to be making lots more. And this channel is going to be featuring it a lot. Because that's pretty much what it was. This channel was created for. So, now, my other channel, Imperfect Lioness, is still around. And I do plan to do more on that channel. Pretty much more of a personal nature. You'll find out. But it's Imperfect Lioness here on YouTube. And I will go ahead and put a link to it down below. And links to a couple of other things, such as Let's Resin, who I mentioned. Because they're where I get 90% of my supplies from. Though I'm going to branch out and test some other resins pretty soon. Ones that are, different kinds, like deep pour resin. I have not tried anything with that yet, and those I hear or I've seen are very good for doing anything that's like 2 inches and you need to see through it and everything, because it's extremely clear and it's a nice thin resin, so it's easy to work with, but it does take a while to dry. So, and then there's also the fast cure, which I have tried before. It's a little too thick for my tastes, but it does cure a lot quicker. Within 4 hours you can actually demold. Or at least I've been able to. But anyway, so this is the turtles. And I plan to do a couple of upcoming projects I plan to have here. One dealing with jewelry and the other one dealing with a huge chessboard. Because I'm making something for my brother for Christmas. So, and you guys will get to watch as I put that together. Anyway. So, hopefully, this hasn't taken a huge chunk out of your day. But also, hopefully, you enjoyed it. So, if you did if you did enjoy this, go ahead and, like, please share. Let other people know that I'm doing this, because I would love to, I would love to build this channel more. And, you can see the stuff that I make, because I'm going to be progressing, actually, quite quickly. When I first started, you don't even want to know what my stuff looked like. I've been doing this for about a little over a year now. And I get a lot of compliments on the work that I do, but I think what I'm doing right now is pretty basic in terms of resin work. So, or at least I think it is. So anyway, you're just on the journey with me, and hopefully you'll keep coming back to enjoy more. So, take care, God bless you, and I'll see you next time.